Hey, Jayden. So I'm sitting here with Gary. He just told me a little bit about you and told me that you would maybe appreciate hearing a message from someone who's maybe a few years ahead of you, maybe a few more than a few ahead of you, and just tell you what lies in front of you once you start doing all the things that you want to do for yourself. So just to tell you a little bit about what I do, my name is Dre, and our company, Work on Your Game, is based around mindset as our foundation. And there are four pieces to that mindset. There's discipline, showing up every day to do the work; confidence, which means putting yourself out there boldly and authentically; mental toughness, which is showing up, doing the work, and continuing to put yourself out there, even when the success you have expected to achieve has yet to occur. And the last one is called personal initiative, which means being a go-getter who goes in, makes things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. These four elements are really the key to everything that I've done. And I've been in different industries. I went to school, of course, graduated, played basketball for a while, got on the internet, started creating content, got into professional speaking, get into coaching, writing books, courses, etc. But the industries don't matter because these foundational pieces that I just gave you: discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative, these apply across the board. This is why I work with people who are athletes. I work with students. I work with single moms. I work with family dads. I work with finance people. I work with professional speakers. Why? Because these elements apply across the board. And I don't have any type of experience in many of those industries, but I have people who work with me and come to me for help from those industries because those pieces anyone can use and anyone can apply. So let me tell you a little bit more about each one. Discipline is about doing what is expected of you and what you've expected of yourself, even when you don't feel like doing it. So the framework we use for that is called the third day. And the third day is about that day or that moment. It could be an hour, it could be a whole month when you don't really feel like doing the thing you know you're supposed to do, but you move yourself to do it anyway. Every professional, and a professional is just someone who does something as their main occupation, the thing that puts money on the table. Every professional operates through discipline, not through motivation. Motivation is not a bad thing, but the thing about motivation is you can't always depend on it. Discipline you can depend on because it shows up every single day. And when you're disciplined, you show up every day. So any adults around you who you see showing up every day, guaranteed if you ask them, they don't always feel like doing it. If you ask Gary, he doesn't always feel like doing his job, but he does it. That's what discipline looks like. And that's what makes you a professional. That's what makes you a leader. When people see you showing up, even when you don't feel like showing up, that's what makes you a leader, because anybody can show up when it feels good. So what do you do when it doesn't feel good? That's the key. So discipline, here's the good thing about discipline: it leads to confidence. Most people want to be more confident. They want to feel good about themselves and about what they do, and they want to feel like other people have positive feelings about them. Confidence comes from being disciplined. So anyone you know who's highly confident, it's usually because they're very disciplined at the things that lead to that confidence. The thing about confidence is you can see it, you can feel when someone's confident. Can't always tell with discipline, but if you ask any confident person, are you disciplined in any areas of life? They'll usually tell you yes. So confidence is, again, about putting yourself out there boldly, authentically, being who you truly are, and knowing that other people or the right people are going to appreciate it. And again, the more disciplined you are, the more confident you earn the right to become. Because confidence, Jayden, is kind of like I tell people, as a membership is not a one-time purchase. So it's not something that you do one time. Okay, I'm confident now. I don't have to worry about that ever again. Confidence is something that you do every single time. You have to keep being disciplined. That's the payment in order to get the result of being confident. So it's kind of like having a gym membership. If you've ever been to a gym or seen one, you know you can't just pay for the gym once. You got to pay every month. You got to pay, or you lose access to the gym. That's the same way confidence works. You have to keep paying with discipline in order to stay confident. The third piece is the mental toughness. And this one matters a lot. If I had to tell people what's the one key in life that matters the most, I would say is the mental toughness. And the reason is this: everyone in life goes through stuff. We all have a story and we all go through things. So when I say stuff, I mean the story. That's all, not the good stuff, the stuff we don't want to happen, stuff that we didn't anticipate, the stuff that's not our fault, the stuff that we didn't ask for, the stuff that isn't, even if we had to blame it on somebody, it's not us that gets blamed, but it becomes our responsibility. That's what mental toughness is about, is that even when it's not your fault, you take responsibility for it. And here's why you take responsibility, Jayden. When you take responsibility, you now get ownership. And when you take responsibility and ownership, you know what that leads to? It leads to power. Power is the ability to influence a situation. And everyone wants to have power over their own lives. And the only way to get power in any aspect of life is to take ownership and responsibility. That means you are able to respond. That's what the word responsibility means: able to respond. That comes from you saying, okay, this is not my fault. I did not put myself here. I'm not the reason this is what it is, but you know what? I'm going to do something about it. As soon as you say that, you make that decision. Now you have power. That is the mental toughness. And the more often you're able to do that with yourself, the more influence you will have over everything that you don't control. Because here's the equation: 99% of life is out of your hands. 99% of life, Gary's life is out of his hands. 99% of my life is out of my hands. I don't control other humans. I'm going to eat some food that I didn't make, that I didn't grow. I don't know what's in it. I don't know the person who made it will even wash their hands, but I'm going to eat it. I have no control over it. When I drive on the street, I don't control what the car on the other side of the road is going to do. I don't control the weather. I don't know what anybody else is going to do. That's the 99%. The 1% is how I think. That's the one thing I always have control over is my own mind. And the more ownership you take over the 1%, the more influence you have over the 99%. So if you've ever been around a person who seems very powerful, it's not that they have more than 1% control. It's just that they've taken so much control over the 1% that it feels like they're controlling the 99%. They're really not. They're just influencing it. They can't make it be a certain way, but they are able to move other things in their direction because of their energy. And it starts in the mind. And the last piece is the personal initiative. Personal initiative is about not sitting around and waiting for things to happen for you in life, because sometimes you're lucky and things do happen, but other times nothing happens, and you don't want to become the victim of circumstance. What you rather be is a person who creates circumstance. And that means you going out and doing something to try to create the circumstances you want, even if it doesn't always work. And this is why these pieces all fit together, because just because you're taking initiative doesn't mean everything's going to work. I was just talking to Gary and telling him that when I was trying to make it as a professional athlete, I tried a lot of things. Not all of them worked, but I only needed one of them to work to get a chance. I might call 50 people and 49 said no, but one saying yes means I'm in the door. All right, so taking initiative means continuing to be disciplined and trying stuff until you get to the outcome that you want. And when you put all these four pieces together, being disciplined, being confident, mentally tough to deal with the challenges, and taking the initiative to go put this stuff to work, it creates a formula for success. And I've been teaching this formula to people for 20 years: basketball players, students, athletes, entrepreneurs, business professionals, and they've all used it successfully. And Gary heard me just in the conversation we were just having, and he said, you know what, Dre, I think your message might be very valuable for this young guy I know named Jayden, and he asked me to share this with you. So hopefully this is something that you can take with you, and hopefully maybe something that I just said here will be useful for you.